Independence Hall is the centerpiece of the Independence National Historical Park in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Located in Center City, Philadelphia at 520 Chestnut Street, the building served as the capital for the province and the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania until the state capital moved in 1799 to Lancaster. It became the primary location for the Second Continental Congress from 1775 to 1783. It is where the United States Declaration of Independence was adopted and debated, and it was where also the site of the Constitutional Convention in the summer of 1787. The building was completed in 1753. It consists of a central building with a bell tower and a steeple. Attached are two smaller buildings. The architecture of the Independence Hall provides a fascinating look into the past. The structure was unfinished in 1735 when the Pennsylvania Assembly began meeting in the building. It was completed without the tower in 1748. Independence Hall frequently changed since its initial construction. However, the appearance of the exterior of the Independence Hall is much like it was in the 18th century. In the interior, much of the ornamentation in the central hall was created by carver Samuel Harding. Some of the original woodwork still survives. The Essentials Room, located in the west wing of Independence Hall, is where you will see original copies of the Declaration of Independence, the Articles of Confederation, and the Constitution of the United States. It is this room where one finds the inkstand that is believed to have been used to sign the Declaration of Independence. One also finds the rising sun chair that George Washington sat in during the Constitutional Convention, which dominates the room. The room is arranged much like it was in the days of the Constitutional Convention. Congress Hall was completed in 1789. This was the home to the United States House of Representatives and the United States Senate from 1790 to 1800. The House of Representatives was where both George Washington and John Adams were sworn in as president. The U.S. Senate met on the second floor of Congress Hall. So, why visit and study this particular site? Independence Hall is what most people would call the birthplace of the United States. It was in the building that the Declaration of Independence was adopted. The events occurring inside of this building, which is known as Independence Hall, making this building one of the most historically significant buildings in the United States. The approximately 24 buildings and monuments in downtown Philadelphia, the entire Independence National Historic Site is one of only 11 World Heritage Sites in the United States of America. As Charlene Myers stated in her book, Independence Hall in American Memory, in and around this historic building, Americans grappled with how ideals such as liberty and equality would be defined as the United States grew and changed. The stories that illustrate this history are significant, even essential to acknowledge, if one is to understand the growth of the nation and its relationship with the idea of national identity, civility, and freedom. The Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States, which were framed and adopted into this beautiful early 18th century building in Philadelphia, were conceived in a national context. The universal principles of freedom and democracy outlined in these two documents have had a profound influence on the lawmakers and political thinkers around the world. They became the models for similar charters of other nations and may be considered to have heralded in the modern era of government. The history of Independence Hall as a public gathering place dates back to the middle 18th century. Philadelphians gathered in the square around the State House to demonstrate against the British tax policies and to hear the first reading of the Declaration of Independence. In the square, they argued about the ratification of the federal Constitution, and they rallied support for the War of 1812. In 1844, Frederick Douglass spoke against slavery before the eyes of both blacks and whites. Myers points to Independence Hall as a place central to the nation's early political history. The old Pennsylvania State House has a long association with the debates over slavery, which took place within the Second Continental Congress, the Constitutional Convention, the United States Congress of the 1790s, and the Pennsylvania State Assembly. Such events not only recognize the historical significance of Independence Hall, but also the use of the building to point out that such ideals of liberty and equality are not universally experienced. The Liberty Bell, which once hung in the old wooden steeple in the Independence Hall, is right across the street in Liberty Bell Center. Located adjacent to the Liberty Bell Center, you can also visit the place where the president's house once stood. And nearby that is the Benjamin Franklin Museum. Here you can explore Benjamin Franklin's life and legacy. Published in History News, an article entitled Independence states that National Field teaches you what to look for in local history, whilst inclusive cultivation of grassroots teaches you things that you cannot see in the broad national view. Local history as a sideline also serves to integrate a historian with his community, to make him valued and respected member of that community instead of just being another professor. So therefore, go bask in the atmosphere of the building that played such an essential role in the forming of our great country and visit Independence National Historic Park. Thank you.